Donald Trump is collapsing as his insane rant has got everybody calling for, well, not everybody, a lot of people calling for the 25th Amendment. Reporters, even in the legacy media, calling him insane, unhinged. Marjorie Taylor Greene is the voice of reason. The world is going to shit. And he's causing it. And I've used a clip from this guy before. Professor Predicts. He's a professor, and he did the video about how we're trapped in Iran and we can't get out. But this video is talking about, is there a plan? Just a very different plan than any of us thought about. Let's watch this video and prepare to feel worse than you felt at the beginning of this video. Sorry, just bringing the truth. And this guy, he speaks some serious truth.
What if Trump isn't an idiot? What if losing the war in Iran is exactly the plan? Let me show you something the media will never tell you. Okay, so everyone's saying Trump is destroying America. He's fighting an unwinnable war in Iran. He's threatening to invade with ground troops. He's pissing off NATO by threatening Greenland. He's picking fights with Canada, Mexico, Denmark, Colombia. JP Morgan says the world will run out of oil by mid-April. The global economy is about to collapse. Trump looks like the worst president in history. A complete buffoon, right? But what if that's the whole point? What if Trump wants to lose the war in Iran? What if he wants the American empire to collapse? What if he wants to destroy the global economy? Then he'd be a genius. Let me explain. Okay, so I have to share something with you. I wrote a complete guide to the Middle East conflict, from how it all started to what's happening right now in 2026. And honestly, I'm really proud of it. It's clear, it's balanced, and I think it will genuinely change how you see the news. Link in bio. Right now, the world gets 20% of its oil from the Middle East. Japan, 75% from the Middle East. India, 60% from the Middle East. Europe, heavily dependent. But here's the thing, oil isn't rare. Venezuela has the world's largest reserves. Canada has massive reserves. United States has massive reserves. Trump just took over Venezuela in January. He's threatening to take over Canada. You see where this is going? If Trump closes the Strait of Hormuz by fighting Iran, the Middle East oil stops flowing. But North America, still pumping. Suddenly, Europe, China, Japan, South Korea, they all need American oil. Not just oil, fertilizer too. Nitrogen for food production comes from the Middle East. If that's cut off, where do they turn? North America and Russia. Trump is making the entire world dependent on resources he controls. Now here's the genius part. Who owns the most US debt? Who's financing America's $39 trillion? Japan, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Asia, UK, France, Belgium, Luxembourg, Europe. The same countries that need Middle East oil. There's been this fear that these countries would stop buying US Treasury bonds, that they'd move to gold or Swiss francs, that America's Ponzi scheme would collapse. But now they need American energy. They need American resources. They can't abandon the dollar. They're trapped. Trump just turned America's biggest weakness, its debt, into its greatest weapon. By starting an unwinnable war in Iran, he's forcing the entire world to depend on North America. This isn't new. Putin already proved this works in Ukraine. Russia's been fighting for 5 years. It's a slow grind, but it's restructured Russia's entire economy around war production. Drones, munitions, military manufacturing. Russia went from importing Iranian drones to making their own and now exporting them to Iran. Putin's plan, the world is collapsing anyway. So build a fortress, make Russia self-sufficient, control resources, weather the storm. Trump saw this and said, we can do the same. It's called.
Yeah, all hope is not lost. Just, in our country and, a lot of the world. But a story came out the other day that made me ponder. Turkey made some sort of announcement that its geothermal has made it the seventh largest producer of alternative power, and that they are no longer dependent on oil. So I looked into that and I'm going, okay, well, if they're seventh, who else is there? And I didn't get direct rankings of who's first, but so these are the countries that will come out on top of this horrible, horrible situation that Trump has put us into. Iceland's doing mostly geothermal. Costa Rica, always loved Costa Rica, and we've been talking about moving to Costa Rica since Trump won again. Costa Rica gets the majority of it from hydroelectric. Norway, hydroelectric. Switzerland, hydroelectric. Tajikistan, hydroelectric. Kyrgyzstan, hydroelectric. New Zealand gets 80% of its power from all kinds of different renewables. And some of these countries, that have come up, well, like Norway, Trump's always had a problem with them. One of the first things he did was when he, met with all the world leaders and told them how we're the hottest country around. Everybody's saying that we were a dead country, and now we're hot. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's ever said that. Trump's the only one that ever said that. But a big part of his speech to the rest of the world was haranguing them for all of their windmills and how terrible those windmills. We know how he's got an issue with windmills, but maybe his issue with windmills is not just the rantings of an insane person. He makes money. The more he props up the oil industry, the more he takes away America's renewables. I did a story the other day where he paid a French company $1 billion of our tax dollars to not build a wind farm that they'd already started building, to abandon the project. And I believe they did abandon the project. And he's blocked other projects, and the judges have unblocked them, and now he's going through appeals to block them again. We all know it's always going to be a grift with him, but I'm going to disagree with the professor. I don't think we're talking about a genius at all. He's still a madman, but he's also a greedy bastard. And he wants to make as much money as he can, and destroy the world. But might be time to move to Turkey, Iceland, Costa Rica, Norway, Switzerland, Tajikistan, or fuck that is. Kyrgyzstan, I don't know where that is either. I could look it up. Or New Zealand. New Zealand's really nice. Yeah, Lord of the Rings kind of stuff. It'd be great. I think that Hobbit Village is still there or something. And it's a tourist attraction now. But some countries are going to be okay. Some countries aren't stupid. This has been a dumb idea forever. Non-renewable resources, okay? That's what oil is. There are only so many buried dinosaurs under the earth, decomposing and liquefying, to provide us with oil. It's running out. It's been running out for a long time, and it makes us go to war. We're not going to go to war to steal some of these geothermal or hydroelectric, the renewables, the wind. Thanks for subscribing, for liking, for commenting. It helps a lot. I'll see you next time.